So in 1993, there was a flood that happened. And Valmeyer, the town above this cavern, was built. And so they moved 16 to 18 million files of individuals in the government that have retired in around 1973 to this location. They have a few locations around the United States that I already kind of know about. They're very similar to this. One is in Louisville, Kentucky. It's now kind of a storage unit slash event playground for adults and children. And then they have one in Utah that the church, I believe, the LDS church. Like, does that not look like dinosaurs? They're gonna run through that. They have documents in theirs and artifacts. The government said, let's put in like 2 million cubic feet of records. They were using this the miners were using it for concrete production, filler for roads, the sort. Let's go see a mine shaft. Which way? This place looks like it's blocked over here. Let's go see this one first then. So look, you can see the chute and the hooks here, which is pretty cool. And you'd stick the limestone in this bad boy and take it right up. Oh, look at this. Is that one for peace or is that one for being an asshole? Okay. Let's go find who Russie is. Is that Russie? So this is actually like a business park. I'll put all the businesses right here just in case you want to support a local business. Um, Interesting. There's this. It's super cool. It's huge. I'm gonna rock as deep as I can and see what I can find. But like, it's pretty wild. And I didn't even know this was here. I was actually just biking along the bluffs because this is where the Native Americans from the Mounds up north that I'm headed towards used to come down and hunt off of. They would use the bluffs as like protection and shelter and stuff like that. And then I saw these huge caverns and I was like, how do you not go see what this is, right? So if you're a Native American and the rain is pounding hard, do you really think you're gonna be setting up camp here? The answer is nah. I think it's filled in with dirt, and then obviously someone weaved branches and shit in front of it. That's not done by. I can't imagine it being done by a flood like this, so deliberately right here. And then there's burn marks from like fire and ash right there. And we're like half a mile from a historical cave system that Native Americans and pioneers and cave dwellers lived in. It makes me, and then like you see burn marks right there. Looks like some cement bags that have been wasted. Look at our tax dollars not being used correctly. Look at this road. Asphalt, too. Oh, I'm on camera. Okay, let's get real here. I've been on camera since outside the cave or caverns, isn't it? So this is interesting. The top, the roof, is no longer smooth, And it looks like they use, what are they called? Jackhammers versus, I don't know what they use to make it smooth. Bat. I don't know what kind of bat that was, but that was cool. Let's see if we can find more bat friends. So this ceiling is the highest part I've seen in here. It's like 35 to like 40 feet like ceilings right here in the cavern. It's crazy. Like, do you think about if they did like food stands in here? Or they did like a concert? I mean, it'd be lit too because it echoes nicely in here. Little dance floor going on, you know what I'm saying? Little drink getting flowing with a little bit of bud, and we. So this is the old telephone line here. I'm assuming telephone. Honestly, this reminds me of a lot of World War II movies I'd watch. I don't know what they're called, but they remind me of World War II movies when they're on the phone. What is that light over there? Yo. Oh, that's where all the files probably are. This is crazy. So like this is the fence that you jump if you're willing to take the L to be sued. Because there's no way those doors are open. But look at the generators and the fans, the temperature control. Check this out. Temperature controlled, big wall. Grit file out is 70. Yes, Sergeant. Okay, so this says online, well, my AI bestie said that they built a 4,000 square foot facility in here. 400,000, sorry, 400,000 square foot facility in here. And it has 2 million cubic feet of records in it. You can just imagine those other side of those walls just lined with files. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, so we got some cleaner from Ecolab up in here. Masks. We got tons of sandbags up in here. I don't know why they have tons of sandbags here. They moved the town and facility here because of the impossibility of floods. I don't know what they're worried about here. We have some red light action going on. What if there's a red light district in here? This is crazy. And it feels so good in here. It's so cool. Oh my God. It's active, that's for sure. So what do I do here? Okay, so we got warehouse vibes here. We got trucks that pull up and drop stuff off. Got it. Just take a little cig break, you know. Stressed at work. 11's being a little bit of a pain in the ass today. You know, when you're a detective and you're trying to get to know some people, you're like, what's in your trash? So what's in their trash? Let's see. Okay, well, we have Kyle's here. All right. We have some smokers here. Apparently they're not making very much money because those are very cheap menthol cigarettes. I'm assuming they're African American of descent. We have a piece of pie, which looks good. Is that Arizona or beer? Let's see. Okay, Arizona, so they're not drinking on the job, so there you go. These look like regular old Americans. Typical Americans. Okay, so like I said, it holds files from like up to 1973. But there's so much more going on here. There's so much more going on here. When you have active shipments like this and lights blinking and you got cigarette butts everywhere, you can't tell me these people are just hanging out going through medical files of people that worked for the federal government up to 1973. That's insane. That's silly business. I'm so followed, by the way. Oh, this is Branding Iron. So this is one of the companies in this district, or in the business district here. Okay, well that makes a little bit more sense. But what kind of vehicles or ammunition? Government property, National Archives and Records Administration, do not touch. I'm assuming there was some drama of some of these other companies in this business district that kept stealing pallets when they need them. That's real funny, actually. I love how intense it is too. It's not black and white; it's all colored too. I want a National Archives pin. That'd be a great pin to have. This is the coolest business district I have ever in the presence of. Looks like it's a cold storage. I'm guessing it's food and or DNA stuff. Or like bio stuff. I mean, typical little office, you know. I mean, it's not typical, but the look of it is typical. Look, there's a cat. And oh my God, it's a wall of pups and cats. See? I'm so ready for there to be a major problem with me being in here at this point. Just due to how deep I am. And here we are at the other side. All right, let's dip back in real quick. So the Native Americans, like we talked about, would hunt these lands headed towards the Mississippi, but would stay along the bluff here, which the bluff is up here, to keep out of the rain, shelter, wind, whatever it might be, snow. And one of the things that kept them here eventually was the production of corn around 800 BC. So the production of corn, the agriculture of corn, helped them be able to stay around the Mississippi. And it's cool to see what the forest looks like along the bluff like this, to help imagine what the Native Americans, Lewis and Clark, the Union saw before mass production of beans, corn in this area. It's thick, it's humid, very jungle-like. Vines. It's beautiful. It's empty. It's cool. Woo! Sometimes I just can't wait for this to be the reality, you know? Not in like a depressed way. It's more of like a curiosity thing, you know? Like, what's it like when we die? You know, we're convinced that it's something, you know, one thing or another. God, gods, nothing, darkness, a sense of understanding that we're still there, but like we can't do anything, and it's just dark. It's just like we're all conscious, but we're all just here now. We're back here again. You know, it's like, fuck, I don't want that. So Stephen W. Miles and his wife, I'll throw her name up, built this. I mean, what a beaut. Okay, so I just looked it up. All the bodies, so the main ones, the main family, Miles, are all gone. They disappeared around 1960. Vandals came in. So I'm not really sure where they're at. I'm going to try to do a little bit more research and try to figure out where that's at, because that is architecture beauty. It is so pretty. It's so perfect too. Like, how do I pay for one of those spots just to go in and like, this is like a little like home. So this is new for me as well. 2 women, one a mother, one a daughter, died same day. It makes you wonder if it was illness or if it was some sort of murder or maybe a tragic accident when they were together. Crazy, I've never seen that before. Except for when like an explosion happened in a mine once and I saw a bunch on the same day. That's the only time I can think of that. I already have haunters that have bodies. So why not invite the dead to also haunt me as well? This is the doctor. I want to know your stories because you thought whiskey was medicine, okay? So, which, hey, you know what? It kind of is sometimes. I like the willow, by the way. This might be your wife. Let's see. Maria. It doesn't say. Okay, they have a cheat sheet here, which is fun. War of 1812. You know, it's funny because the War of 1812 has 3 battles. Main battles. Conflicts, you might say. And one of them that has a lot of death. There's many conflicts on the open ocean, okay, with the War of 1812. But the main one that I'm thinking of is the one with pirates. The pirates that came from the prison in Alabama. What prison am I thinking of? They would allow the release of prisoners in the promise of marrying a prostitute and taking her to Louisiana. Now, the War of 1812 happened, and there were pirates and what? Porn stars. Okay, so it's fun to think about those types of things because it's got a Christian thing on it. And what if he was a pirate down there, and then his family's from here, but he went down there so he could marry? Like, who are those people? Is that one of them? Probably not, because he's here. But and we could maybe find one that is. So. Future pathway to my home? Probably. I already know where to grab a bunch of them. You just have to get to know me and I'll show you the way. I know this is controversial, but it's really not. Just think of the time period. Some women will come in here and say, these are the special women of this time period, okay? Most of them were childbearing women. Stayed home with the kids, cooked, did their thing, took care of the cattle, rode horses, shot guns probably. At least knew how to shoot a gun. The first sight of St. Louis, Missouri, one of, if not the most dangerous city in America. Let me zoom in 1 second. But should be Shotman Mounds. So the tribe here built a defense wall. It's about, I'd say, 13, 14 feet tall. Probably using straw and hay in the middle, or straw and mud to bind the wood with rope, and it wasn't fully completed around the mounds here. but it's like a fortress. So this is the largest Native American site so wasps north of Mexico, the border of Mexico. And you can imagine the protection that the Native Americans felt here while they had philosophers, traders, families, spiritual leaders living on top of the mound. And you could think it wasn't fully completed. They know that it wasn't, this wall right here wasn't fully completed. And so you can imagine, like, if there was an attack, it would be like a wave of Native Americans towards the opening in all directions. We're gonna head up to the top of the mound, and then we're gonna continue on our way. So this mound was built by hand using baskets over centuries. This was the main hub for trading, agriculture, engineering, and astrology. Here, I want to say North America, but here in this area, in Illinois, in St. Louis, Missouri area. It's one of the reasons why St. Louis became a fur trading route, a main one. One of the things, I'm breaking rules right now being here this evening, but one of the things that they had going on here was understanding drainage, understanding engineering, and working on becoming more intelligent with very inclusion with the West, very little inclusion with the West, obviously due to the time period. Most French had no clue this was even here due to the decline of the population here. Apparently, the sign says that French priestess built something on top of this mound, a cabin, a home, a place of refuge. I don't know if that's true. And it's a little frustrating that they include that type of history. Not that it's not true, I don't know if it's true or not. But it really should be more focus centered over the Native Americans, in my opinion. You know, I went to the end of the Trail of Tears in Oklahoma back before I started videoing. And the vast majority of monuments, statues, and artwork were very American. The masonry work was very white. Just a purist. That's all I'm trying to say. This mound was built with different bases, a red base, a yellow base, a brown base. Just like all people's lives, we have different bases and different goals, different wants and needs. But we're always in construction until we build a house on top of it, or a home, or a worship space, or whatever it might be. There is something called, I believe, the woodstock here west of here that they would use to calculate time with the sun and poles, wooden poles. You know, very intelligent, trying to figure out the mysteries of the world, the mysteries of the earth, the mysteries of the sun, the stars, and the moon. Disease came in, I'm sure, desolated the population in many ways. Frequency-wise here, there's a little. There is a little, but not a lot. Not like the Trail of Tears. Not like parts of Shawnee. Not like other places. And that may just be due to the destruction of her here with the city. It's just the reality of what we do. We mark the territories with those things. But this is where the chieftain would hang. And if you look at how up near the Great Lakes, this is where the monks, shamans would come to rest, learn. And you wonder if it was like the Six Nations, or the Five Nations that then added a sixth nation near the Great Lakes. Did the women have a strong enough say here to take down the chiefs or replace them? Were they upheld in that way? So we're here at Woodhenge. This is the center post. And you see out in the distance, there are quite a few posts. And this is east, where the sun rises. And then of course, the west, if you can see. I'm not sure if you can see with this camera over here. And they would use this for seasonal, tracking the seasons, tracking, I'm assuming, some time, obviously, here at Woodhenge. Let's go to the East Post. So this is the East Post right here. And you have to wonder, you know, how intelligent they truly got until they truly don't know what happened to this tribe. They truly don't know. Still a mystery to this day, and it gives me, an explorer, adventurer, traveler, hope that there's many unknowns like this one to continue to search out. It is crazy to think they were continuously trying to improve their knowledge as much as they could, with that inclusion with Rome, for example, and without very many resources, or the same resources. It's probably the best way to say that. Without slaves, well, I don't know about that. Some tribes did have slaves, maybe a little bit later. I don't know. That's again, it's all about continuously learning. So my water
and my feathers are gone. I'm continuously being lifted from. And they just keep on lifting. They take my water